So what we have here is I have some big trips coming up. And my next trip is to Arizona. And I asked here, before I show you this, I asked AI what would be a good color palette. And let me throw up the answer on the screen. All right, so I tried to use these recipes. Forgive my poor handwriting. So here's my Arizona palette, because I'm going to Arizona for a trip and I would like to do some travel journaling while I'm there. So we have saguaro green, which is phthalo green, yellow shade, which I don't have, but that's okay, sap green, and some yellow ochre. And then they give you the ratios, 3 to 2 to 1. Here's desert sand with yellow ochre, titanium white, and burnt sienna. And I wrote it down wrong, that's why that's wrong. Canyon red, burnt sienna, cadmium orange, and alizarin crimson. Adobe wall clay, high noon sky, twilight purple, which I think turned out really pretty, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, and some titanium white. Juniper bark brown, prickly pear bloom, oasis reflections, ugh, love this color, and some evening shadow gray. My plan is to get a small tin and make these colors, then swatch them and use them on my trip. This screenshot shows the ratios of all the colors. It wasn't a very good screenshot. I got a package in the mail from Amazon where I got these 4 little tins, and I decided that one was good for Arizona, but it had 24 slots and I didn't want to bring that many colors, so I swapped it out with one that had 12. Then I looked at the ratios that we had. I gathered the supplies and I started mixing. I'm not going to show you how I mixed all 12 because that would be kind of boring, but I do think I show you 4. I started in there because I thought that well was bigger than the one above it, and so since this is the green color, I thought I would probably need the green more than anything. Although when I'm going to Arizona, it's going to be the end of July, the beginning of August, and I don't know that the desert is green yet. I used to live in Arizona and I can't remember exactly when the brown turns to green. It's kind of a green brown anyway. So I just use a toothpick. So I didn't even do the colors very well. I just sort of estimated. So it was a 3-to-1 ratio, and then I put a little swatch on there and tried not to get my hand into all that paint. So the next one I did was the desert sand. So starting with the yellow ochre, and then adding in, let's see what else we have, a burnt sienna, and can't see what that color is, or titanium white. There you go. Anyway, I have a swatch of these colors at the end, and I'm thinking that I'm also going to end this video with a very, very short demonstration on painting a desert scene. And so stay tuned for that. I'm sure you're sticking around for the lovely commentary. I know that's for sure. Anyway, okay, moving on to the next one. So there we go, desert sand. Canyon red is next. Very nice. I thought that color actually did turn out kind of nice. So the question of AI. So art, I've actually tried to use AI to create art before. It was sort of like for a class assignment, and we were supposed to put something together, and she said it was okay for us to use AI. It was hard. It was a mock-up book title, and I could not get it to give me the title in English. It was very, very strange. I mean, the image was compelling and it was interesting, but I couldn't get it to work. So I know some people are worried about AI for writing and other arts and things like that. But I think this was a good use of AI because I knew that I wanted to make a new color palette just because I've actually been watching Rebel Unicorn Crafts and Andrea Nelson. I think that's her name. Anyway, and they've been talking about cohesive color palettes. I wanted to do something like that, and asking AI just for color mixtures I thought was totally fun. Anyway, so we're coming to the end of this one. My dog is now visiting me. I love that color for the desert, actually. Anyway, so the next picture you'll see in a second is the final version. I decided to finish off the palette with a little bit of yellow. Seems like the desert should have some more yellow. Plus, it gives me the option of mixing the yellow with the couple of blues that I have. Here's my sketchbook where I was drawing some thumbnails for some pictures that I have. I'll put them on the screen. Took these pictures in Arizona last time I was there, and I decided that they were all too complicated, and so I wanted to simplify and maybe just do one image of a cactus and make an abstract background. So I did, of course, another thumbnail. Here I have swatched all of my Arizona colors, which haven't dried yet. It is kind of hard to use them when they're in a palette like that and they're wet. So here's an attempt, also, so a thumbnail and then another attempt. And then here is the final painting with the very loose background and an attempt to get a interesting cactus. Why did I choose this? This is hard. Like, all that detail is hard. So anyway, I feel good that I tried. Okay, thanks. Have a great day.